ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। We were looking at the commentary of Bhagavad Pada Shankaracharya on the fourth sutra of the Brahma Sutras. And here he is presenting the standpoint or the philosophical outlook of a particular branch of Advaita Vedanta who came before Shankaracharya, like Bhartri Prapancha. So here Shankaracharya is talking about this particular view, which was first propounded by Upavarsha, also called Vrittikara, one who has written Vritti. And in the tradition of Upavarsha, Bhartri Prapancha. Now the idea is that though Brahman is known only through the means of Shastras or scriptures, even then Brahman is presented by the scriptures as an object of meditation or contemplation. Just like though we always know about a sacrificial post, etc., but they are presented to us by the scriptures, that is the Vedas, though they are not normal, they are supranormal, alaukika. They are presented by the Vedas. So why are you telling like this? If one asks this question, then the answer is pravritti nivritti prayojanatvat shastrasya. Because Shastra or the Vedas, they have to talk about the heya or upadaya. That means they have to talk about accepting, that is pravritti. That means you do something. So the Vedas should tell us to do something, injunction, and nivritti. Nivritti is to not do something, prohibition. So that is the prayojana, that is the purpose of the Vedas. Therefore, you cannot have some statements which do not talk of injunction or prohibition. Tathahi, and in this manner, Shastra Tatparya Vida Ahuhu. Those who are Shastra Tatparya Vidaha, that means those who know the Tatparya or the meaning, import of the Vedas, those people, Ahuhu, they say. So this is taken from the Purva Mimamsa Bhashya. Purva Mimamsa Bhashya means the Bhashya or the commentary on the Purva Mimamsa Sutras. So that from that it is taken. What do those people? So here the idea is the Shastra Tatparya Vidaha. That means those who know the Shastra, those people, that means they are Mimamsakas. Because only Mimamsakas know the true meaning of Shastra, because they know how to ascertain the meaning of the Vedas. That is the idea here. That is what is told here. So here this Bhashya of Shabara Swamin. So there is a commentary on the Purva Mimamsa Sutras by an Acharya named Shabara Swamin. That commentary is being quoted here. What is that? This is of the first sutra. Athato Dharma Jigyasa. That is the first sutra of Purva Mimamsa Sutras. In the commentary of that sutra, Shabara Swami is saying, Drishto hi tasya artha karma avabodhanam nama. Drishto hi tasya artha. Tasya means Vedasya. So Drishtaha, it is known or it is understood that Tasya means of the Vedas. Artha, purpose. Karma avabodhanam nama. So when Mimamsas in Mimamsa Sutras, they begin like this. Athato Dharma Jigyasa. Just like the Brahma Sutras begin. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Mimamsa Sutras begin. Athato Dharma Jigyasa. So now, what is Dharma is explained in the second sutra of the Mimamsa Sutras. So Shabara Swami, he explains the Dharma, the term Dharma, in his commentary on the first Mimamsa Sutra. And he says, Drishtaha hi tasya arthaha karma avabodhanam nama. So the purpose or the meaning of the word Dharma is karma avabodhanam. That means understanding the action which has to be done. Understanding the action which has to be done. So, Agnihotram juhuyat swarga kamaha. When that is told by the Vedas, then the purpose, artha of that Veda or that portion of Veda is to make a person perform Agnihotra Yajna. So Swarga Kamaha, anybody who is desirous of attaining heaven should perform the Agnihotra Yajna. That is the purpose of the Vedas. So Pravritti, that person will listen to this and immediately will get into action and start performing Agnihotra Yajna. That is the idea. So Vedasya, that is Tasya Artha, the purpose of Veda is to karma avabodhanam, to make the person understand the action which has to be done. Here action meaning ritualistic actions as prescribed by the Vedas. So here both prescription and prohibition have to be taken into account. So if the Vedas say don't do this, then that person has to immediately refrain from doing that, nivritti. That is the prayojana. So iti, this is what is told. And in the Purva Mimamsa Bhashya on the second sutra, the Bhashya is, that is by Shabara Swami, the Bhashya is like that. Chodana iti kriyayaha pravartakam vachanam ahuhu. So the second sutra of the Mimamsa Sutras is Chodana Lakshano Artho Dharma. Chodana Lakshano Artho Dharma. That is, the word Chodana means to make a person do something. Injunction, Lakshano Artho Dharma. So Dharma means it is of the characteristic of this Chodana. Chodana means an injunction, and that has got the purpose of providing an injunction. So now this word has been introduced, this Chodana, and that word has been clarified or commented upon by Shabara Swami. He says, That is what is being quoted here by Shankaracharya. He says, Chodana iti, by the word Chodana, Kriyayaha pravartakam vachanam ahuhu. What has been explained here? Kriyayaha pravartakam vachanam. Vachanam, a statement which is pravartakam, which makes you do kriyayaha or induces you to perform an act. So, Swarga Kamaha, Agnihotram Juhuyat Swarga Kamaha. When this statement is read, then there is this inducement or there is this impetus given to people who desire to attain Swarga to perform the ritual called Agnihotra. So that impetus, that injunction or that inducement is called Chodana. And Dharma has the characteristic of this impetus. That is the idea. So people who are Shastra Tatparya Vidaha, Shastra Tatparya Vid, those who know the meaning of the Vedas, because Mimamsakas have been credited with having developed tools to ascertain the meaning of the Vedas. Meaning of the Vedas. And Nayayikas have been credited with developing tools to logically analyze a passage. Advaita Vedantin uses the tool given by Mimamsakas in interpreting a particular Vedic sentence, and also the tools given by the Nayayika, Nyaya philosophy people to understand, logically analyze a particular statement. And the Advaita Vedantin also uses the tool or technology given by Patanjali Maharshi to train the mind in the form of yoga. So basically, Advaita Vedanta is a very intelligent person, uses whatever is available. Why reinvent the wheel? Whatever is available, uses it and puts it to best use to understand Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. That there is one without a second Brahman. So coming to this point here, according to people like Bharta Prapancha or Upavarsha, people who follow Mimamsa philosophy are the best to understand the meaning or the import of Shastra. And so the entire purpose of all the Vedas or Shastras is to make the person understand the necessity to perform a Vedic ritual. Or the word Chodana, which is introduced in the second sutra of the Purva Mimamsa Sutras, that is Kriyayaha Pravartakam Vachanam. That is a statement which induces a person to perform a particular action. Now we are now studying the Brahma Sutras. We have just come to the fourth sutra. And this had been started long ago. And so in another place that it has gone up to some other sutra, some I think 9th or 12th or something like that. So once the fourth sutra is finished, this particular thing will be connected to the playlist, old playlist. And so anybody going to that playlist also will get the continuation. Here also they will get the continuation. Why am I suddenly saying this? Brahma Sutras are 555. So we don't know when this thing is going to actually complete. But because here Purva Mimamsa Sutras are being discussed, Purva Mimamsa Sutras are also very interesting to read and understand. The context in which the Vedic passages, not Vedantic, Vedic passages have been interpreted or understood are very interesting. So, if God gives the energy and also time and so many other factors, then maybe Purva Mimamsa Sutras can also be studied. but that's a distant thing. So here, Chodana iti kriyayaha pravartakam vachanam ahuhu. Chodana means that it is that which induces pravartakam, induces one to perform Vedic rituals. Tasya jnanam upadeshaha. Also in the Purva Mimamsa Sutras, the 5th sutra says, Tasya jnanam upadeshaha. Tasya jnanam, the knowledge of Vedas. Knowledge of Vedas is Tasya jnanam upadeshaha. It is knowledge of Vedas or the teaching of the Vedas. Upadesha, teaching of the Vedas, is Tasya jnanam. The Tasya jnanam, karmasya jnanam. The knowledge of Vedic ritual. Karma, Shabara Swamin says, Karma avabodhanam nama. Tasya arthaha means the meaning of the Vedas. Here Tasya means Vedasya. Arthaha means the meaning of the Vedas or the purpose of the Vedas is karma avabodhanam. Is that the person understands the necessity of performing Vedic rituals. That is the purpose. Similarly, here in the 5th Purva Mimamsa Sutra, it is said, Tasya jnanam upadeshaha. The knowledge of Vedic rituals is the teaching of the Vedas. So Vedas basically teach only the knowledge of Vedic rituals. Other than that, whatever Vedas talk about is of no purpose. I've already told you this, and it will be also quoted here. Vedoshara Vedantaha. Veda Ushara. Ushara means desert. So Vedanta, which is practically useless according to Mimamsakas, because they are saying, Tattvamasi, you are that. What is this? Where is the action? There is no action. So there should be some action. Without action, what kind of cinema is this going on? Some people like action cinema, commercial cinema. Action will be there, some song will be there, romance will be there. Then there is the art movie, parallel cinema. Earlier, this parallel cinema, no sound will be also there. One dialogue may come after several minutes, like that. So those kind of movies nobody likes. What parallel movie? You spend money and go and see all this art cinema. What is the necessity? So like that, some people don't like. So there is no action. And Vedanta, I am Atma Brahma, what Prajnanam Brahma, all some such statements are there, not necessary. So according to Mimamsakas, if there is any purpose of performing Vedic rituals of a particular Vedic passage, only then it is useful. Vedanta, because that Vedanta portion, it does not have any such purpose of performing Vedic ritual. That is why in the Vedas, Vedantic passages are like deserts. Means desert means there is no cultivation, no agriculture. So like that. Vedoshara Vedanta. So that is what they say. Tasya jnanam upadesha. So the knowledge of a particular Vedic ritual or Vedic rituals is the teaching of the Vedas. Then tad bhutanam cha kriyarthena samamnayah. This is the 25th sutra, first chapter, first subsection, 25th sutra of the Purva Mimamsa Sutras, Jaiminiya Sutras also they are called, or Mimamsa Sutras they are called. There it is told, tad bhutanam cha kriyarthena samamnayah. Amnayah. So the words tad bhutanam cha, the words which words or statements of Vedic passages which talk about already existing things. So even then, those particular words have significance if they are kriyarthena sama amnayah. If they have got relation means the same relation as those passages which talk about Kriya, Vedic rituals. So, Tadbhutanam cha Kriyarthena Samamnaya. If those particular Vedic passages which do not talk about Vedic rituals, if they have also some purpose as talking about Vedic rituals, then they are taken. That's called Ekavakyata, means there is a unity of purpose. If there is unity of purpose, earlier also we have seen in the objection by the Mimamsakas that yes, we can accept Vedantic passages, we can accept statements about already existing things. That means where you don't need to do anything. Like I also gave this example, scenic beauty. People go to various places, see, wonderful. In Kozhikode, wonderful sunset. Wow, see what a great beach. So there you don't have to do anything. You have to just sit quiet. So those kind of statements are okay. We can bear those kind of statements, provided that they are connected or they encourage the performance of Vedic rituals. That is the standpoint of the Mimamsakas, Mimamsa philosophers. And the further thing, that is this sutra is the first sutra of the second subsection of the first chapter of the Purva Mimamsa Sutras. Amnayasya, this we have already seen also. Amnayasya kriyarthatvat anarthakyam atadarthanam. So, what is the meaning? Very simple. Amnayasya kriya arthatvat. Because arthatvat, because the purpose of Amnaya Vedas is to perform Vedic rituals. The purpose of the Vedas is the performance of Vedic rituals, so that people are performing rituals. Because that is the purpose, anarthakyam, it is purposeless, atadarthanam. Those passages of the Vedas which do not have this meaning of performance of Vedic rituals, they are anarthakyam, they are completely. So only if something produces something, or some Vedic ritual is done or not done, means a Vedic ritual is done or a particular act is prohibited by the Vedas, only then it is purposeful. Otherwise, those statements are anarthakyam. Anartha means they are purposeless. Iticha. Like this, all these statements from the Purva Mimamsa Sutra and also from the Purva Mimamsa Sutra Bhashya by Sabaraswami is all produced here. Sabaraswami is all produced here. And so people who know, according to the group of Advaita Vedantins like Upavarsha and Bhartri Prapancha, people who know the true meaning of the Vedas have such opinions. Ataha, therefore, Purusham Kvachit Vishaya Visheshe Pravartayat. Therefore, people, they, what do? Purusham, a person, Kvachit Vishaya Visheshe, for a particular specific object. Vishaya Vishesha, some particular specific object, what do? They pravartayat, they act, or they get into action. So they do something for the sake of a particular object, for the sake of attaining a particular object. So pravartayat. So a particular person has to be induced or impelled, coerced or convinced to do a particular thing. So that is what the Vedas do. Vedas induce a person, Vedas give the impetus to a person to perform a particular action. Kriya Vishesha, for the sake of attaining a particular object. Kutaschit, sometimes this is what happens. Kutaschit Vishaya Visheshat Nivartayat cha Arthavat Shastram. Also, sometimes Kutaschit in some other cases, Vishaya Visheshat from a specific object, Nivartayat. The Shastra or the Vedas asks a person to abstain from a particular object. So either Pravartayat, it asks one to do something or go towards a particular object, a special object, or the Vedas, they ask a person to refrain from a particular object. That means it is either asking you to do something or to not do something. So it is either an injunction or it is a prohibition. Arthavat Shastram, and that is how the Shastra attains its purpose. It becomes purposeful. Arthavat, purposeful. Shastra or Vedas become purposeful by asking you to do something or by asking you to not do something. So making you either do something or making you to refrain from something. Tat Sheshataya cha Anyat Upayuktam. Anyat, all other passages, Sheshataya Upayuktam, they are Upayuktam, appropriate, or they find a place in the Vedas only as Tat Sheshataya. Tat Sheshataya as a subsidiary, as an auxiliary to the passage of Vedas or the passages of the Vedas which talk about injunction or prohibition, or which induce a person either to do something or induce a person to refrain from something, means to not do something. Tat samanyat vedantanam api tathaiva arthavatyam svatvam syat. So you see, why should it be any different for Vedantic passages? Tat samanyat, because Vedantic passages also what? They are only Vedic passages. They are similar. They are similar because they are also Vedic passages. Vedantic passages are not from outside Vedas. So if the Vedic passages become purposeful only if they either pravartayat, they induce you to do something, or nivartayat, they induce you to refrain from something. If that is the case, then why should it be any different for Vedantic passages? Because they are similar. Tat samanyat. They are similar. So Vedantanam api, also the Vedantic passages, that is Upanishads, also for them, tathaiva arthavatvam syat. In similar manner, it will have purposefulness. It will become purposeful. That is, these Vedantic texts or these Upanishadic texts will become purposeful only by talking about doing something or talking about refraining from something. Sati cha vidhi paratve. That being the case, that the Vedic passages are vidhi paratva. They are connected to a particular injunction which asks a person to perform an Vedic ritual. So similarly, when Vedantic passages also, because they are also Vedas, so when Vedantic passages also are vidhi paratva, means they are connected with the inducement or injunction which makes a person do some Vedic ritual. When that saticha, when that is so, yatha, for example, swarga adi kamasya agnihotradi sadhanam vidhiyate. There is this injunction, vidhiyate, injunction. It has been prescribed. What has been prescribed? I was just mentioning this example. Swargadi kamasya, a person who wants to attain, desirous of going to Swarga and so on. So Swarga and so on means Swarga Loka is there, Indra Loka is there, Brahma Loka is there. A person, see now, one might think, where is Swamiji? What Brahma Loka? What's this Loka you are telling? We went to Mangalayana and the cinema also has come and I also seen it, and all that you don't know. Such a good acting people did in that cinema, and you're saying all this Loka, where is this Loka? So imagine if a person gets a visa and goes to some place, because everybody in India thinks that some good place is outside India. I don't know why they think like that, but that's what they think. So if you go to such a place, then you like that place. So it is Swarga. Or you can go to a Himalaya destination like Mayavati, where in the daytime itself you can hear your heartbeat, not because your heart is palpitating, but because it is so silent. That is Swarga. Or you go to some city like Delhi with high pollution and high sound pollution also. I cannot say that is Naraka, because many people are living in Delhi. It will be very bad, hurting to tell like that. But many places will be there like that. So Naraka. So some Brahma Loka will be there. A person is sitting in a particular office and thinks that the whole world or the whole district runs because of that person. Thinks, what is the harm in thinking? They don't know that actually God runs everything. They've forgotten. So if they are thinking like that, that person is Brahma Loka. What else can you tell about that person? So such lokas are there. Only we have to identify. So Swarga Adi Kamasya, a person who wants to go to places like that, to realms like that, desirous of that. So that person, Agnihotra Adi Sadhanam. So for Swarga Loka, it is Agnihotra. For other Loka, if you want to go, there are different rituals. So Agnihotra Adi Sadhanam. Vidhiyate means like performance of Agnihotra sacrifice are given to people who desire to go to realms like Swarga. Evam, in this manner, Amritatva Kamasya Brahma Jnanam Vidhiyate iti yukta. See, why are you making such a big confusion? There is no difference. If somebody wants Swarga, you do Agnihotra Yajna. Finished. Some other loka, you do that whatever yajna has been prescribed for that loka. If you want to become immortal, Amritatva Kamasya, those who want to become immortal, they want to become Amritatva. Amritatva means immortality. Those who want to attain the status of immortality, they have to do Brahma Jnanam Vidhiyate. Simple. For them, Brahma Jnana is prescribed. So just like for Swarga, Agnihotra sacrifice is prescribed. To attain immortality, Brahma Jnana is prescribed. Iti yuktam, it's only logical. Why do you say that this is not a particular prescription? That's also a prescription. That's an injunction. This is what people who belong to a different version or different standpoint of Advaita Vedanta, they say, like Bhartri Prapancha, etc. So this is only logical. This is only reasonable that it should be so. This is the idea. Now, here, the Siddhantin, we have now already understood what is Siddhantin. Siddhantin is the person who is presenting that philosophy. So here, through the commentary on the Brahma Sutras, Shankaracharya established the philosophy of Advaita Vedanta as he is telling us. So he is Siddhanti. Anybody who does not belong to that school of thought is Purva Paksha. Purva Paksha. So Purva means actually opposite, or it can be earlier also, but here it means opposite. It means the person who is the opponent. So here Siddhanti or Shankaracharya, he is raising the objection, because he now presented what that Upavarsha school or Bhartri Prapancha school says. Now he is telling the objection of Advaita Vedanti. What is the objection? Nanu. Nanu means no or but, like that. So whenever you go to a particular government office with any kind of application, you will get this objection. That is how you can understand Purva Paksha. Is they will say, oh, here, the only goal of a government office person, many people might be government office persons, government office personnel, but generally the goal of any government servant is to reject whatever comes to that person. That is the goal. So any application comes, reject it. That's the goal. Like I know one, it actually happened. So one story, like many teachers, they think their goal is to simply correct whatever comes in their way. Simply correct it. So there was one, some students were totally fed up with this teacher's habit. So there's a Bengali teacher, And so a student got an idea. We know all this great person called Rabindranath Tagore, Rabindranath Thakur. So he has written so much. He has written so much that is practically impossible for most people to even have read everything. So this boy, what he did, he took a poem from Rabindranath Tagore's work, which is not a very well-known poem, kind of a nondescript poem. He took it and he presented it as his poem to the teacher. And as teacher's nature was, teachers made it all red, battlefield, and all blood, blood, blood. Everything is wrong. Then this boy said, he brought the book where that poem was published inside. See, this was written by Rabindranath Tagore. So like that, you go to any government office, they'll say, no, this will not be there. Oh, this you have brought like this. Oh, you have typed this whole form. This cannot, you have to write in your own handwriting. So though everything is digital, actually in our country, nothing works in the digital way. They will ask you to take printout, go to a gazetted officer, get it attested, and that the gazetted officer should put stamp, all this funny business. So like that, if you want to know Purva Paksha means, you should go to a government office. Then you will go and ask, no, nahi hoga. That is Purva Paksha. No, means no. That is not the thing. You see, that's all. We belong to this Purva Paksha Siddhanti Vada dialogue. We are proving it today. So nanu iha jigyasya vailakshanam lakshanyam uktam. So here vailakshanyam, difference between jigyasya, between the thing that has to be known, uktam, is being told. See, athato dharma jigyasa, the desire, so athato, thereafter, therefore, the desire to know dharma. Atah dharma jigyasa. Athato brahma jigyasa. Thereafter, therefore, the desire to know Brahman. So Shankaracharya says, no, you have got it all mixed up. Athato dharma jigyasa is a different desire. Athato brahma jigyasa is a different desire. So the jigyasya, the thing or the entity which is desired to be known, vailakshanyam, there is a difference between these two entities. Ukta, that is being told now. Karma kande bhavyo dharmo jigyasya. See, what is the jigyasya? What is the object or entity which is to be known, desired to be known in Karma Kanda or in Mimamsa? Karma Kanda means the portion of Vedas which talk about Vedic rituals. So in that portion, what is the jigyasya? Means the object which is desired to be known. Bhavyo dharma. That dharma, or here dharma means Vedic rituals. Those Vedic rituals that have to come into existence. Bhavyo dharma. So if you want to attain heaven, if you are Swarga Kamaha, if you are somebody who desires heaven, then what you should do? You should perform Agnihotra Yajna. So Agnihotra Yajna, before your desire comes, it has no relevance. Even after your desire to go to heaven comes, Swarga comes, unless you perform it, it does not come into existence, this Agnihotra Yajna. So it is Bhavya, it will be something which will happen in the future. When the Vedas are telling about this Agnihotram Juhuya Swarga Kamaha, then this Agnihotra Yajna has not yet been produced. So that is a Bhavyo Dharma Jigyasya. That is a Vedic ritual which is going to happen, which is going to come, which is to brought into existence. Whereas Ihatu, but in this case means in the case of Brahman, Bhutam Nitya Nirvrittam Brahma Jignasyam iti. Here in the case of Brahma Jignasa, the object which is desired to be known is completely different. It is Bhutam, it is already existing. Nitya nirvrittam. And not only it is existing, it is nirvritta, it is completed. It is completed. Nirvritta means completed, accomplished. Nitya nirvrittam means it is always accomplished. It is not something which has to be produced. It is always there. It is swayam siddha. It is self-evident. Swayam siddha, self-evident. So you don't, if somebody is sitting in front of you and somebody says, hey, the person sitting in front of you. So you don't have to prove that you are sitting in front of that person. Why? Because by your very presence, you have proof that your presence is proof. Self-evident. That is the point. Self-evident. If somebody asks you, what is 2 plus 2? And you say 8. Then that you don't know arithmetic is self-evident. That is the idea. Swata Siddha. So how do you know? Long ago, I read a statement in Reader's Digest. An interesting statement. They say, why is it that Reader's Digest quality was good earlier, before it was taken over by a Indian media group? Even now, the American Reader's Digest is better in quality. So why is it that some people look brighter till they open their mouths? This is the question. Why is it that some people, quotable quotes in Reader's Digest, look brighter till they look bright till they open their mouths? The answer was given, because light travels faster than sound. Light travels faster than sound. So what they're saying, we don't know. We'll look at them. What great brightness. So like that, that is self-evident. Some people, their foolishness is also self-evident. So like that, self-evident, what is there, which doesn't need any proof, that is self-evident. So here, Nitya Nirvrittam, it is already accomplished. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to bring anything into existence. It is already there. And it is eternally present. That is Jigyasyam. That is what is desired to be known. So here, what is desired to be known is not produced, is not completed. Unlike in the case of a Vedic ritual, which has to be begun, it has to be completed. That's why this nirvrittam, why that usage has come, because in a Vedic ritual, you have to complete it. Just starting a ritual will not do. You have to properly complete that ritual. So all that is not necessary in the case of Brahman, because it is always existing. It is eternal and it is always completed. So there is this difference. There is this Vailakshanyam of Jigyasya, of the object or entity to be known, which is desired to be known. There is this difference. And therefore, Tatra, there, that is in the case of Dharma Jigyasa, or the desire to know Vedic rituals, Dharma Jnana Phalat Anushtana Sapekshat Vilakshanam Brahma Jnana Phalam Bhavitum Arhati. So, Brahma Jnana Phalam Vilakshanam Bhavitum Arhati. So, Tatra means in that case means in the case of this difference of the object which is desired to be known. Jigyasya Vailakshanyam. The difference, Vailakshanyam, difference of in the, or distinction in the objects which are desired to be known. Brahmajnana Phalam Vilakshanam Bhavitum Arhati. The result of Brahmajnana, knowledge of Brahman, should be Bhavitum Arhati. It ought to be distinct. It ought to be distinct from Dharma Jnana Phalat. It has to be distinct from the result of the knowledge of Dharma. Why? Because the knowledge of Dharma is Anusthana Sapeksha. Anusthana Sapekshat, because of it being dependent on an action, the performance of an action, Anusthana. So the knowledge of Dharma, the result of the knowledge of Dharma is dependent on action, whereas the result of the knowledge of Brahman is not dependent on any action. So therefore, they should be treated separately. They ought to be treated separately. That is the idea here. They ought to be treated separately because there is a difference. You cannot deny this difference. I want to know, Swamiji says the same thing in a different manner. He says, I want to know physics, I want to know chemistry, all these things, okay. But if you want to know spirituality, then it is different. I have told this also, I think, here earlier. So if you want to know spirituality, it is different. You might learn physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, etc. from a professor who might not have a very good character, who might not follow moral values. But you cannot learn spirituality from a person who does not practice spirituality. Because Swamiji says, when it is spirituality is concerned, a particular part of the spirituality of a person is transferred to the other person. The teacher's spiritual wealth is transferred to the pupil or the student of spirituality. So that is why, like I have recounted also this incident also, but every time this comes up, I remember that person. We had a mathematics professor, and this professor will come to the class like totally nicely shaking because of spirit which has gone inside him. Completely drunk, he will come to the class, and we had to give it to him that he would be so thorough in his calculations on the board. But after some time, they had to stop him coming to the class because he started drooling so much. So all over the place, his saliva was going and he could not stand steady anymore. The dosage of alcohol became so much that he could not stand. But even then, he was very great in mathematics. So that is the point. So even if that person is a drunkard, you can learn mathematics from that person. But Adhyatma Jnana, spiritual wisdom is not like that. You cannot learn that from such a person who does not have character. So here also, desire to be known. So the desire to know mathematics is also a desire. That's also jigyasa, and mathematics is the jigyasya there. That is the object which is known. Similarly, here dharma is the dharma jigyasa is a jigyasya. That is the object or the entity which is known, but it is quite different from Brahma Jigyasa. Because Brahma Jigyasa does not require that Brahman is produced. Dharma Jigyasa requires that Dharma is produced. That is, an action is done. Here, no such thing is required. So, this very vital point, law point, as they say, is a very law point, valid point, has been presented by Shankaracharya. Now, in response, Purva Paksha says, Na arhati evam bhavitum. No, this need not be like that. So Shankaracharya, he said, bhavitum arhati. Means, Brahmajnana phalam vilakshanam bhavitum arhati. Dharmajnana phalat. So, from the result of dharma, or the knowledge of dharma, from the result of knowledge of dharma, the result of knowledge of Brahman should be different. It has to be treated as different. So then immediately, no, that's not necessary. It need not be treated differently. Na arhati evam bhavitum. It is not deserved, it does not deserve to be treated separately. Why? Karya vidhi prayuktasyaiva brahmanaha pratipadyamanatvat. Oh, we are telling you again and again that in the case of dharma, the Vedas say that you do this action. In the case of Brahmajnana also, the Vedas are telling that if you want this knowledge, or if you want this particular janma to stop, then you have to get Brahmajnana. So if you want to become immortal, then you have to get Brahmajnana. So that is also an injunction only. That is also definitely an injunction by the Vedas. Why are you making a difference? There is no difference. Karya vidhi prayuktasyaiva brahmanaha pratipadyamanatvat. Because Brahman is pratipadyamana, it is explained or expounded or clarified by karya vidhi prayuktasyaiva. Indeed, by karya vidhi, by the vidhi injunction of karya, a ritual or an action to be performed. So prayukta means connected. So Brahmana means the knowledge of Brahman. Pratipadyamanatvat. Brahman is being explained or expounded or cleared or detailed only by prayukta, connecting it with karya vidhi, connecting it with a Vedic statement which is giving an instruction to perform an action. How are you saying that Vedic Brahman knowledge does not depend on action? How did you get this? That is the question asked by the Purva Paksha. How are you saying? You said Dharma depends on action, Anushtana Sapekshat, and Brahma Jnana does not depend on action. Who said this is all wrong? We have to, while we are studying a commentary, the challenging part, one of the challenging parts is to keep track of when it is Purva Paksha and when it is Siddhanti. Otherwise, everything will get confused. What I am saying now is Purva Paksha's statement. So Purva Paksha says that no, it is not true. Brahma Jigyasa also requires, it is also Anushtana Sapeksha. It also requires dependence on action. And it is Karya Vidhi Prayukta Eva. It is definitely connected to an injunction to perform an action as presented by the Vedas. And that is how Brahman is explained. How, look at the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Atma va are drashtavya Shrotavya mantavya nididhyasitavya iti. So here what is written? You see, Atma va are drashtavya. Written means told, of course. Shruti means told. What is told? Atma va are drashtavya. Oh, Atma indeed has to be seen or known. It has been told. So there is an injunction to do something. Also, ya Atma apahata papma saha anveshtavya saha vijigyasitavya. Chandogya Upanishad also says, Yah Atma apahata papma, that Atma which is apahata papma, which is beyond all sins, which is beyond all sins, or which is free from all sins, that has to be anveshtavya saha, that Atma has to be anveshtavya, has to be inquired upon. It has to be inquired. Saha, that Atma, has to be vijigyasitavya. Tavya. This tavya is a suffix. So suffix tavya pratyaya means it's a command. It is a vidhiling in Sanskrit Vyakarana. It is called vidhiling, means it is a command. It's an injunction. Shrotavya mantavya nididhyasitavya. So you have to Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana, you have to do it. So that is also vidhi. Even according to grammar, it is vidhi. So anveshtavya, again tavya pratyaya. And vijigyasitavya. So it has to be inquired into, it has to be seen, it has to be known. Vijigyasitavya means it has to be known. And in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad again, Atma iti eva upasita. That Atma has to be Atmanam eva upasita. Atma iti eva upasita. Sorry. Atma iti eva upasita. Atmetyeva upasita. Atma iti eva upasita. This Atma thus has to be contemplated upon. Or Atma iti eva upasita means as self alone it has to be contemplated upon. So Brahman has to be contemplated upon as self alone. All this is being told. Instructions are given in the Upanishads to contemplate on Brahman, contemplate on Atman, and also to inquire or to seek after Brahman, Atman, to know, to desire to know Atman. Vijigyasitavya means you should have jigyasa to know Atman or Brahman. So all this is told here. So how can you say there is no injunction? Atmanam eva lokam upasita. Also, one has to meditate upon upasita, one has to meditate or contemplate upon atmanam eva, only on atma as lokam, as the supreme. So that is also told. Then also, how much evidence do you want? Atmanam eva lokam upasita. Even this is also from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Then Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati in the Mundaka Upanishad. The person who knows Brahman becomes Brahman alone, Brahman itself. So that means you have to know Brahman. So that's an action. How will you know? That's an action. A performance is told there. Ityadishu, in such statements, Vedic statements, vidhaneshu satsu, because there is vidhana. Vidhana means injunction, instruction, injunction, command. Eteshu ko asau atma, kim tad brahma, iti akanshayam, tat swarupa samarpanena, sarve vedanta upayukta. So you are not understanding. Hello, Advaita Vedanti, you are not understanding. You are saying that for knowing Brahman, you don't need to do action. You have got it all wrong. Brahman has to be known, because if somebody, just like somebody wants to go to heaven, that person will do Agnihotra Yajna. Similarly, if somebody wants to attain to immortality, that person will get the knowledge of Brahman. And this Brahman has to be known, has been several places, as we have just pointed out, has been given as an order or an injunction. And this vidhaneshu satsu, these kind of injunctions or orders being there, in these statements, the words like Atma, Brahma, etc. have been used. So, eteshu, in these statements, ko asau Atma, who is this Atma? Kim tat Brahma, what is this Brahma? Iti akanshayam, such questions or doubts may arise. Tat swarupa samarpanena. And so, by samarpana means by presenting tat swarupa, the nature of Atman, Brahman, etc. Sarve Vedanta upayuktaha. All the Vedantic passages are quite appropriate. That means we earlier also told, suppose there is a Mimamsakas brought this objection. Suppose there is a passage in the Vedas which talks about the deity or the person who has to do a particular Vedic ritual, then it is accepted because it is subsidiary, vidishesha. It is subsidiary to a vidhi, to an injunction. So it is accepted. Similarly, here also, because all the Vedas, the Vedantic passages, they are talking about how or what is Atman, what is Brahman, etc. Who is Atman or what is Brahman, etc. Because unless you tell that, how will a person know Brahman or Atman? How will a person contemplate or Atman or Brahman? So that is why they are appropriate as a subsidiary to the instruction that you should know Brahman. So that is why those Vedantic passages are talking of Brahman as Nityaha, eternal, Sarvajnaha, omniscient, Sarvagataha, omnipresent, Nitya Triptaha, ever satisfied, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhavaha, eternally pure, eternally conscious, eternally free of the nature of, eternally pure, eternally conscious, eternally free, Vijnanam, Anandam, Brahma. So, Brahma, which is of the nature of consciousness, Vijnanam, Anandam, bliss, Brahma, iti evam adayaha. Starting like this, in such manner, there are many other passages. So, all these passages are appropriate insofar as they are subsidiary to the passages which give instructions to meditate upon, to know Brahman or Atman. So that is why there is no difference between Mimamsa, that is the passages of the Vedas which ask us to perform a Vedic ritual, and also the passages which are asking us to contemplate on Atman or Brahman. This is the objection now, which the group of Advaita Vedantins who follow Upavarsha or Bharta Prapancha, they have posited or they have presented. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Are there any questions? So I take there are no questions. Smriti, any questions?
No, Swamiji, no question.
Okay, fine. So we can end it here. Namaste, Shubharatri.